Well, there's the rolls up on the rack again. So this time the alternator has gone out. Oh, by the way, do you know that Rolls Royce has 2 alternators? That's right. Rolls Royce Phantom has 2 180 amp liquid cooled alternators. Each one of them is like the size of your head. And my lower one failed. There's a larger one and then another smaller one. They're both liquid cooled, and I was confused exactly how they worked. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how they work. Now, check this out. What you have is you have a cavity that a sealed alternator slides into, and that cavity is hooked up to your water lines, and it liquid cools the sealed alternator sitting inside that capsule. This makes it difficult to remove because first you have to remove the little pulley tensioner that's in front of it, and then of course the belt, which will probably remove itself when your alternator seizes like mine did. And then you have to move some cooler lines out of the way so that you can pull the thing forward. Now, a proper technician will probably tell you that you need to remove the entire radiator and some of the other oil cooling lines and transmission cooling lines and all that kind of stuff to properly slide the thing out, and maybe that's true. But if you know how to finagle it just right, you can get it out of there, and we did. Now, rather than going to Rolls Royce that charges $1,000 for the lower alternator and $1,700 to $1,800 for the upper alternator, I don't know the difference between the two, but I went to my friendly O'Reilly's by cross-referencing the BMW 760 Li that uses the same one. Here we have the exact same alternator, and I got it for about less than $500, and with the core and the tax and everything, it was a little over $500 out the door. They do make a rebuild kit for this alternator for about $100. If you really are a cheapskate, you want to peel this thing apart, replace the bearings and the rectifier and the seals, glue this thing back together and take your shot at that. You can do that. You can send it off to be remanufactured. Or, listen, if you can afford the Rolls Royce, you can afford at least the discounted alternator. If you were to take this to your Rolls Royce dealer, they're going to charge you, for the part, plus they're going to charge you up to $250 an hour to do this. I got to be honest, we've been working on this for a couple of days because you got to remove the belly pans, and you just got to figure out how to get it out. And so I'm hoping with this video that will help some of you if you ever encounter this problem. It's really not that big a deal. It's a lifetime alternator. Now, this car has 75,000 miles and it's 15 years old. So it's had a little bit of use on it. So imagine there's 280 amp alternators that are so powerful that they have to be liquid cooled. That's how much electricity this thing is using, not only in the V12 motor and the cooling fans, the front and rear air conditioning, and the power to everything. Apparently, it just needs a lot of juice. All right, looking up in here. So what were these were like what, 10 millimeter or what were these?
10 millimeter.
10 millimeter, of course. So you had some bolts just holding this thing in. We put a piece of shrink wrap over the battery cable because we made a mistake and we did not disconnect the battery, which you should do. But to resolve this issue, we just simply put this heat shrink on top of the cable. That's why this is here. So that's not a hose. That protects it from arcing out. And then up above here, this is where this pulley would sit up here, blocking the thing. And you had to remove some other hoses that come off of here. You can see this blue blood dripping out of there. Look how clean it is in there. So really a testament to using the proper blue BMW coolant and not just water. There's no corrosion in there. It's clean. It's absolutely clean in there, and I'm really impressed. And that makes me happy because that lets me know that the rest of my engine and radiator and hoses are nice and clean as well, because I'm assuming this has never been replaced. This is like attached to the block. So, but we do have some leaking and stuff going on here. So we're going to address all those issues, and we're going to squeeze this other alternator back in. Now up above, you can see that's the other alternator, and I don't know what makes that one so special that it costs twice as much as this other one, but it do. I don't know why, but that seems to be the case. So hopefully we never have to take that one out. Holy crap, that would suck. So I got these 2-ton floor jacks, and I put one in the front and one in the back just in case this thing starts to teeter-totter. And actually, this right here is actually called a jacking point. So this is this little piece here is made for jacking the car up by the cradle. So if you ever want to know where is a good spot to jack up just the front of your Rolls, right there, giggity, And this is our personal little testicle cooler here we have running.
This is called a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, this is running off a portable air conditioner. This is the cul-de-sac.
The cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac. Yeah. Ah, that's what it is. So that's how we're doing that. All right, well, let's get this other one in. Slide it in right through the top. This is going to be interesting. You think? Well, it goes. It points the other way. I mean, I know you can rotate it, but it doesn't matter.
When I get it inside the housing there, I can rotate it inside there. But in order to get it up and around this shit, this here has to pass on this side.
Okay.
And once I get it in, I'll rotate it to where it needs to be, and then it'll be good.
Spin it around.
Yeah.
And the seal is built into the back of this thing, so that's what seals it in.
Little tricky. But we'll get it in there.
Now, by the way, we already drained the coolant and recovered the coolant. We're going to reuse it. The stuff is like $30 a gallon, so we're going to filter it and put it back in because it's still good.
Okay.
So I'm just getting around this little plastic housing here.
Well, this has to come this way just a tad.
And it's heavy as shit too, so. Do you need help? Oh, you got it. I can always put this down and help. People watching are like, put the camera down, Bob, and help.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
What about this hose here? You're going to smush this hose.
Like a sense of balance.
Yeah, but
man.
you got to get this hose out.
Yeah, I got to get around here first. Once I get around here, it'll clear that out. Now I have room for it.
Just don't drop this mother effer.
No. All right. There we go.
It's like a first date.
And there we go. Now we twist this around to where we need to be, which is going to be...
About there?
No.
Almost.
Almost. We're going to be right there. Yep.
There it is.
So now we're in there.
Now we're in business.
Now we have to take just a bit and we're good. See how?
Yeah, they look heavy. That's why I pay you to do this. Doctor says I can't lift heavy stuff. I haven't been able to pee straight in weeks.
It's possible, yeah. But what I'm getting at is...
Yeah, I think it goes that way, dude.
Well, no, I was saying I got to just line it up to where everything fits in.
Yeah.
It has to snap in.
Yeah, because there's probably like a little alignment notch in it. Yeah, now it makes sense.
Let's
see that. That's
right
lining
here.
up. Bada bing.
Boom.
Pa-pow. The proper torque specifications for Rolls Royce.
It's German. Good and tight.
That's German good and tight. Yeah. What was that you were saying about the Bermuda Triangle parts?
Yeah. I said the thing that takes the time with these things is not so much, replacing the part. It's looking for the 10 millimeter.
Yeah.
They're part of the Bermuda tool angle. The 13, the 10, and sometimes the 8's in there. They're just nowhere to be.
No, it's a 13. Yeah, it's a 13, the 10.
10, and the 8. Yeah.
I never use the 8, I don't think. It's always a 10.
Eight's-
I went and picked up
it's
like
an
3
eight.
or 4 of every 10 millimeter, and I still can't find them.
It's 8 when it's not a 10.
Like, what is it with this 10 millimeter?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
You're out there, so.
So, Milwaukee, please send me free stuff. I'm giving you a free commercial. This right here, if you don't have this in your, Milwaukee, it means the good land, yeah. But, you need this. This thing is like $100, and it's a must-have. If you don't have one of these in your tool drawer, you're just a dummy. I got to tell you, you got to have this thing. Milwaukee, send me free stuff. We got the belt back on the alternator there, which was, a little bit of a challenge at first, but it actually went on pretty easy once you figure out how it goes on. And now it's working. It's alive! Alive, I tell you, the V12 humming. There it is. Can't hear this thing when you're in the car, but here it is. So we're checking our fluid. Fluid is flowing. We're probably going to add a little bit of that. And check all of our belt tensionings and look for leaks. See if anything drippity drips. Problem is, this thing doesn't have like gauges. You know, it doesn't tell you your oil pressure or any of those things. You know, there are dummy lights. Shows my temperature being cool. Gonna add any more to there?
Well, what do we have?
Well, it should see where it says minimum and max, and it's not up to the minimum.
Okay.
So I'd put a little more in there. Well, I got to enjoy the Rolls for one day. Took my wife out to dinner for it with last night in the car, and we went to a show. Enjoyed the new wheels and tires, rode like a dream. But I could smell a little bit of coolant, and I thought, well, maybe it's just a little burn off from when we worked on it. And then today it told me the coolant was low on the little computer screen. I checked it out, and lo and behold, the plastic reservoir tank, there's a crack in it, and the coolant is steaming out. So apparently this is just probably a regular BMW part. I don't know, I'm gonna go find out. So for right now, I'm gonna park it. I'm gonna have to slum it in the Cadillac CTSV for a little while. And I'll let this thing cool off, and maybe I'll run to buy the dealer, BMW dealer, see if I can get a cooling tank for this thing. Hopefully it's not too crazy expensive. This is the kind of stuff that you have to deal with a 15-year-old car. Some people will say that this is a Rolls Royce problem, that it's an expensive car problem. I'm gonna give it up to age and mileage. After 75,000 miles and 15 years, plastic stuff's just gonna wear out, and this is probably just a weird thing. And I'm gonna also say that this probably happened that because when my alternator seized and failed, and then the belt broke, and then the engine overheated, that tank overpressurized, and that's what cracked it. And had that not happened, the tank would have been fine. So probably a few other things. Hopefully that was the only thing that overpressurized and cracked. And probably that tank that doesn't cost that much money saved me a lot of potential other problems, because by it cracking and relieving the pressure saved me from something else cracking and breaking and causing more problems. I'm gonna be looking into a non-pressurized cooling system that I'm gonna be talking about in the future with a company called Evans Cooling. They do a special type of coolant that does not pressurize, because it doesn't turn into vapor. We'll be talking about that in the future, and I'll be doing the first one of those on my DeLorean. So stay tuned for all that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's get back to work on this thing.